Hello Tubesters, welcome to another part which I can't remember for the life of me on this Sea Fury build. Said Sea Fury. As usual with my builds, it's all a learning curve with me. As I said, anybody that's just finding this video for the first time, I'm an old bloke who's returned to modelling after about 30 plus years, and when I was a kid modelling, like most of us, it was a tube of stringy glue and really not much else, and a brush, brush paint and enamel on them. So it's been a real hard learning curve to learn to spray. I've got to the stage now on my airbrushing where I can actually get it to spray paint that I'm not pooling it. Well, most occasions I'm not pooling it. I don't have the spider effect at the moment, as he furiously touches wood here. I don't have the spider effect at the moment. I still occasionally get the dryness to it, but like the sandy feeling. But from what I've seen, I'm shooting the paint too far away a lot of the time. So I've got in closer, and that seems to be working. I don't seem to have that effect. What I'm still having the problems with is just filling seam lines properly. This is going to be a prime example. I always say to on my videos, for everything that goes right, and I'm happy to show you whether it's a figure, a bust, even a model kit. I've not had one go right yet, but there will be a time when I show you a model kit where everything's gone okay. But I'm happy to show. The whole point of my channel is to show you the ups and the downs. So as usual with the couple of builds I've done so far, there's been a fair amount of downs on this one. Filling seam lines, which I'll show you in a minute, is still hopeless at. The Mariana Trench is probably not as deep as some of these ones I've tried to fill and not done properly. And masking the plane itself, that is an art in itself, one which I've not learned yet. It has been a struggle, and you'll see in a minute. I've got bits and pieces of overspray, which is really annoying because I've only just taken it off. I knew I'd got one where I'd had to move some masking around to get to another piece, and that was really annoying. I've also got some. The one problem I had, I've had to spray the nose orange, and for some unknown reason, I don't know why. I don't know if I put I don't think I would have done. No, I can't remember now, to be honest with you. If I put the masking tape on when the primer was still going off, I don't know, but it seems to have left bits of masking tape, not chunks, it's just left like a sticky residue. And I've tried to gently sand it off. I've tried wiping it off with alcohol, rubbing alcohol and that. And it's worked in places and not in others, so I've got bitty residue on the blooming nose. I'm thinking of rubbing it down again with a really light sander and then trying again. I was hoping maybe the orange paint that I've put on, well, it doesn't matter about the colour, but the paint that I've put on would have fixed it enough that if I have to sand it, which I'm going to have to because I can't really put up with that, that it'll fix it in place, and at least it'll come away with a sander, which it wasn't doing properly before. So again, I've no idea really. I can only assume that maybe it was because it was Tamiya tape I was using, so it was decent tape. So that's, again, although I'm sounding all down about my model building, it's not, because I understand, just as I'm progressing with my painting over the years, I was never going to come to this and suddenly become an expert modeler. So yeah, when I'm beating myself up, it's just because, as I say, I show you what I like to show you the progression of somebody who doesn't know his bum from his elbow and is learning his way, and they're not going to be right. It's still just really galling when it doesn't, you've spent a lot of time and the blooming thing, still going to have extra work on it before you can proceed to the next stage. So guys, as usual with all the long-winded waffle, let's go down to the bench. And it's just going to be quick. I've waffled more than I'm probably going to show the aircraft because there's not a lot to it. So join me at the bench, guys, and we'll take a look. Right guys, I'm really sorry about the cluttered workbench. It's almost coming to an end now. I've got a stack of AB 18mm Napoleonics everywhere, and I'm working on the last 3 or 4, just the last finishing touches, and then they can all be bagged and shipped off to a client. It just means I'm literally swimming in figures at the moment, which means I'm having to, at the moment, the camera's on the side of the bench, looking down. So I do apologise. It's just before I go on to the next stage with the Sea Fury, obviously I'm trying to document my progress. Right, as you can see, that's where the overspill is there. Bits I've missed. There's another piece there. I've gone quite faint on. Let's get my pointy stick. I've got quite faint here where it should be darker. I've mixed the paint up myself. I'll get the paints out in a minute. Oh blooming heck, I didn't even notice that. I've got a straight line there. Oh dear me. This bit of orange here, I don't know how the heck that's got in. I really don't, because I plastered this with masking tape, but what can you do apart from do better? I'll just move this up. Let's see if we can. I'll knock this off and we'll see if we can move. Right guys, sorry about this. It's not going to be one of Gav's best videos. Not that many of them are, but this one's obviously, I'm really constricted with space here, but I just need to show you this before I move on with it. I don't know if you can see the residue around the nose. As you can see, I've got overspray here, a bit I've missed there. It's a bit tragic really, isn't it? You can see I think that the one good aspect of it, I thought the mottling came through quite well. I did that black base with the light grey squiggles, and put this like this duck egg type colour over the top. You can see my seam lines, which are horrendous. See those? Really, I really beat myself up over the seam lines because I've put so much effort into these, and it doesn't seem to have, it's gone for nothing really. I've half flattened this out in trying to beat the seam lines down, and still not being able to fill those trench left behind. So that's our Sea Fury. Let's get it down again so you don't see my grotty workbench. That's my Sea Fury. The paints I've used, as I furiously, again, no prior planning and preparation or thought gone into this. I think I used this grey blue RLM 84. That's MIG, obviously. These are all MIG, and then mixed it with some duck egg. I've not put any this is a satin aircraft really, but I decided to spray the satin on afterwards rather than mix it with the paint, because I've got to then obviously put my decals on and do the weathering. So that's my thought on that. And then the dark, I think the actual dark sea bluey type thing, again that's a mix of Vallejo dark sea blue and I believe a touch of this a bit of that in it. Well, oh, there we go, ocean grey. That's the colour of it down there. And again, put on a black base with with bits and pieces grey squiggles and blotches put on. So as you can see, I'm going to have a damn sight load of clean up. I'm scared stiff to take that masking tape off the canopy. The canopy itself sits in a bit of a trench and isn't particularly and this is not down to the kit, it's down to me obviously. Oh well, as I say, everything's a learning curve. I'll see this one through to the end, but I've got to say I'll be glad to move on to me Pink Panther Land Rover. I think it's you know, it's again, it's just keep going and going until you can get one that actually looks the business. But I'll go back over with the masking tape in the next day or two, and well, probably the weekend now, and try and clean all those areas up. Before that, I'll try and rub bits of that nose down again and have another go on that. But then I will move on. I don't want to be honest with you, I don't want to. I've got bits of Sea Fury cluttered all over my desk as well, and I really want to move on. So you know, once I've done that, obviously, then it'll be at the same time I've painted it over, I'll put the varnish over, and get ready to put the decals on and get some weathering done on it. So guys, thanks a lot for stopping by and taking a look. I'm really sorry about the cluttered bench and, you know, obviously the bad camera angles and things, but as I say, before I move on to the next stage, I just wanted to show you, you know, what was going on with the Sea Fury. So you take care of yourselves, and we'll catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.